A very good afternoon to our guest of honor, Mr. Dipesh Shah, our mentors, Mr. Dhanuka and Mr. Bhavania, and to all our members present today. The Government of India implemented a major financial sector reform by establishing and operationalizing India's maiden International Financial Services Center, IFSC, in Gift City, Gandhinagar. Well, friends, we are indeed lucky to have with us Mr. Shah to decode Gift City and its opportunities for us. I would like to start by giving a brief introduction of our esteemed organization. Millennium Mams is a Kolkata-based not-for-profit organization founded in 1993 by two visionaries, Mr. Bishnu Dhanuka and Mr. Sanjay Bhavania, with the sole motive of creating financial awareness and literacy amongst women. The organization since then multiplied manifold and touched lives of 7,000 women, giving them an opportunity to build financial acumen. We now have two more chapters, sir, in Bangalore and Mumbai. The curriculum imparts knowledge through the study of current affairs, analysis of balance sheets, AGM participation, and tracking of global economic trends, as well as plant visits. We also have interactive sessions with luminaries like yourself, sir, who enrich us with their unique life lessons and success mantras. Since its inception, several enterprising women have become successful entrepreneurs and long-term investors with robust portfolios. Turning homemakers into investors and entrepreneurs need passion and commitment, and our mentors have persevered to transform our lives. And now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our distinguished guest, Mr. Dipesh Shah. Mr. Shah has over 22 years of professional experience in international business, project development, corporate affairs, corporate law, and policy matters. His most prominent achievement includes setting up and operationalizing India's first smart city and IFSC. Before joining International Financial Service Centers Authority in December 2020, in his 12 years tenure at Gift City, City made substantial progress in getting recognition as India's model smart city, starting India's first multi-service SEZ and only approved IFSC. He brought in the regulatory and business changes in the GIFT IFSC to bring in banks now transacting more than $400 billion. International exchanges inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister of India, and insurance and reinsurance companies for undertaking offshore transactions. He is the head of development and international collaboration at IFSCA and responsible for the overall development of the IFSC. Mr. Shah is a Bachelor of Commerce and is Chartered Secretary from Institute of Company Secretaries of India and Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators, UK, and has postgraduate diploma in business management from Nirma University, India, with specialization in international business and finance. He is currently pursuing his PhD in International Financial Services Center. He is actively engaged in research and teaching. He has presented several research papers on international financial services. A very warm welcome to our forum, Mr. Parekh, or rather, Millennium Mams ma apnu swagat che. I now invite you to address us with your keynote speech, and then we will open the floor for Q&A. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Meghna, and thank you, Millennium Mams, for having this, wonderful session. And this is a great learning to understand as to what great work you people are doing. In fact, when the first time the name came to us, I asked my colleagues as to why only the Mams and Millenniums. Why can't the man be also Millenniums? But the way I think it is structured, Maybe in future somebody will try to think of for man also, I'm sure. But I'm so glad that, we had a visit of all of you, and some of you could visit the Gift City, and we could host you in both at the International Financial Services Center Authority and also at the Gift City, and you could see for yourself how the infrastructure is coming up in GIFT. what I've done is today I made a small presentation just to run with you as to what all is happening in GIFT City. And as a financial services professionals or as a businesswoman, I'm sure you will be able to appreciate many opportunities which is coming out of this initiative of the Government of India in GIFT City, Gandhinagar. So allow me to share my PPT with all of you and make a small presentation on this.
Sir, I made you the co-host, sir. You could do your screen share.
Okay. Are you able to see the slides?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. I think it's always important first to, because many of you may not have visited, first to make sure that you see the picture which is representing the GIFT City. So this is actual image of the GIFT City as where we are sitting. Obviously, you can see the building also from where I'm speaking right now. But the main objective of the Government of India of having an international financial services center in GIFT City and in GIFT City in general has been twofold. The first, I think the government of Gujarat, when the Honorable Prime Minister was the Chief Minister of the state, he visualized a city which can be or which can add a lot of value for the businesses to come in the financial and IT services. So the GIFT, the terminology Gujarat International Finance Tech City, was the nomenclature created by the Honorable Prime Minister when he was the Chief Minister. In fact, I did share with probably the other group when they were with us that how did probably we are the only project in the world where the short form came first. We were called GIFT and we were told to figure out the full form. So it said Gujarat, we could figure out Gujarat International Finance, but then we struggle with T. And we again went back to the Honorable Prime Minister, who was a Chief Minister at that time. Sir, what does the T stand for? Because we are not able to put this in the name. And, this was in the year 2007-8. He said, in future, finance will not be able to operate without technology. And the failure today, as we all know, was a terminology tossed by him in 2007 to call this as a Gujarat International Finance Tech City. And that's why probably if he would have not created, we would have not got an opportunity of having the interest from all of you to see what is happening in GIFT. So I think it's good to have the interest from all of you to understand as to how GIFT is enabling the ecosystem in India and what is in it for us as a business woman, us as a probably you will also see this from the angle of GIFT City coming up with a lot of foreign universities. So what is in it for my own kids as to why should they go to US, UK and study? Why can't they study in the foreign universities in GIFT? So allow me to take you through with what all is happening in GIFT. I think in a simple terms, if you understand GIFT, it is as simple as you are creating a smart city. When I say smart city, the city is planned in two components. In simply creating a city may not bring in an economic activity. So say for example, the Lavasa, where probably most of you would have visited from Mumbai. Now it is a new, probably a city or a new development. But what is missing is probably an economic activity. So what has been done in GIFT City is how do we create an economic activity which is surrounded by the by various residential, social and other activities. But the focus should be the business. So here the development is finance and technology, which is the core area on which the GIFT City has been developed. As I said, it is a smart city spread in two zones, a domestic and an international financial services center zone. So GIFT City has two components. It has a domestic area which is similar to any other zone in India. And it has an international financial services center zone, or what we popularly known as multi-services special economic zone, but added, notified as only India's first and only international financial services center. Now, you will probably wonder as to what is unique about an international financial services center. The unique nomenclature of IFFC today in India is that it is by the Government of India notified as an offshore zone. So you are in India, but for all practical purposes, the zone is considered as a non-resident zone. So for example, when you open your company or a branch here of your business, you suddenly step into an offshore zone, which means that local FAMA will not apply. From an RBI perspective, you are outside India. All your domestic law does not apply. This is similar for you to open a company in Dubai, Singapore, Mauritius, or any other place outside India. So now you have an opportunity to create an offshore vehicle within onshore India in GIFT City. That is a unique positioning that the GIFT has. But what does it mean? It means when you are in an offshore zone, you can transact in any foreign currency, but you can't transact in Indian rupees. So the only currency that our entities in an IFFC cannot deal is the Indian rupees. Why you can't do Indian rupees? Because that business you are already doing from domestic India. So for example, today you are sitting in Mumbai, you can do domestic business, domestic financial services from where you are located. But you, in order to do international financial services or to do a dollar business, currently there were the concept of the SEZs in India, which was to export of services or export of goods. You consider this as an export of financial services or a financial services SEZ, from where you are providing offshore services to outside India and also to India, but in dollar terms. Now, with this differentiator, let me take you through the what has been the vision of the GIFT City, because this was one of the point which was placed to us that please, tell us about the vision, how it is coming up. See, the vision what Honorable Finance Minister, when we was with us in July 2022, he really articulated quite well. He said to us that the GIFT City is an important gateway to connect India with the global opportunities. When you integrate with GIFT City, you will integrate with the whole world. I think it's a very powerful statement if you really unfold. What does it mean? So for example, today you are doing a business in India which is purely domestic financial services. But you want to do dollar business, or you want to serve non-resident Indians, or you want to serve non-resident entities. Then where do you go? You probably go in Dubai, or you probably set up a vehicle in Singapore. From Singapore, you serve India, or probably you serve from Singapore outside world. Now, this same opportunity is provided by the government in GIFT City, that you will be an offshore within onshore India, and you have a similar regulatory enablement that you can do dollar business efficiently. You will probably ask me, why can't I do this from domestic India? So the simple reason is that in India today, the currency is not fully convertible. So our rupee is not fully convertible, that you can't convert rupees into dollar and start doing dollar business from any building. Rupee is convertible only in the current account. So for example, when you are sending goods outside India, you can receive money, dollars freely when you have sent the goods outside. But if you want to do dollar investment, you want to buy securities, you want to take external commercial borrowing, this you can't do it from India. For this, what we've been doing is for last many years that we will go and avail these services from other centers outside India. So let me give an example that what the bank will do. You go to a bank and say, I need $5 million of loan. You will go to your local bank, say ICICI Bank. ICICI Bank will say, okay, I can arrange it for you. So what he does is basically arranges that loan, but that loan comes from his own center from Dubai, Singapore, or outside. He does not himself been able to give you dollar loan because that is not allowed for him. So we, as a country of a size of 1.4 billion, we have been availing these financial services from outside India, but we are not able to provide those services from India. And because of this, what has been happening is we are exporting business outside India and we are exporting jobs outside India. Now, if I allow ICICI Bank, so now I have ICICI Bank, which has an IFFC banking unit here, and you want a $5 million loan. The ICICI Bank in GIFT City is able to give you $5 million loan directly from GIFT City branch. It is not an arranger. It is an actual provider of a financial services loan to you from GIFT City. Now, there are two advantages for India. One, we are, instead of this business going to Dubai, it has come to GIFT City, which is in India in a way. And ICICI Bank has created jobs here rather than creating jobs in Dubai. So from both perspective, we as a country are gaining of having our own international financial services center. I think your next question is, why then the International Financial Services Center is only at one place? Why can't it be at 10 places or across India, everywhere, any building, we should have an international financial services center. But as I told you, the International Financial Services Center is born out of a concept of that India is not full capital account convertible country today, which means that you can't freely transact convert rupees into dollar in any building in India today. You have to go to a designated zone. Today, that is designated zone is GIFT City in Gandhinagar. It can be tomorrow, if the government decides to have multiple, it can be multiple. But the government thinking is just like what China did, that they developed Hong Kong for quite some time, where the entire international business was done in Hong Kong. Rather than creating more fragmented liquidity, they created one Hong Kong, which was a force doing international financial services for China and outside. Similarly, government is trying to create a similar environment at the International Financial Center in GIFT City. In terms of our objectives as a financial center, our objective is very simple. What we are doing is, the vision is that this center should become a leading global financial center to connect major global markets and primarily focus on the accelerated India's economic development. What are our objectives in order to do this? Very simple. IFFC has to become a leading internationally recognized financial center with a trusted business and tax regulations and robust judicial and dispute resolution system. We have to want to become a gateway for global capital inflow and outflow, and emerge as a regional and then / a global hub for international financial services. Now, this is the objective on which the International Financial Services Center today is operating in GIFT City. When we talk of International Financial Services Center and when we are talking of the unique features of an IFFC, what are those? See, today the International Financial Services Center in India has a separate financial jurisdictions. As I said, full capital account convertibility when you come to the IFFC. It has a separate tax regime, which is very competitive. Now you go to Dubai, you go to Mauritius, you go to Singapore, you have a separate tax regime for doing international business. Now, what is it? So, for example, in Dubai, there is a 0% tax for 50 years. When you are working in a Dubai International Finance Center, you go to Abu Dhabi Global Financial Markets, it is a 0% for 50 years. You go to Singapore, it is a 10% tax regime. You go to Hong Kong, it is 15% tax regime. And you go to Malaysia, it is 3% tax regime. Now, in India, if people have to undertake International Financial Services Center, what earlier the consultants were telling you, that madam, you can take your business to Mauritius, you can take your business to Malaysia, from where you can do dollar business, and you can also serve India from sitting there. So you took away your business there, set up your business there, you got the tax advantage, and you started building the business outside India. Now, this is the reason for government to having an attractive tax regime or a competitive tax regime was that if I have to bring my business back, I want someone who is shifted to Singapore or Dubai to come back. Government has also given a tax incentive. Out of 15 years, there is 10 years no tax on the business profits that you earn in IFFC. There is no GST, which is not in order to lose the revenue. The idea is that we should bring our business back, which will generate jobs here. And in turn, it will start creating multiplier effect for many other businesses to grow. So a very broad thinking of the government to create this type of a enclave within India. This also have been provided a separate unified regulator. Now, if I ask all of you that what does an RBI stand for, or a SEBI stand for, or an IRDA stand for, all of you will raise your hand and say RBI is Reserve Bank of India, SEBI is Security and Exchange Board of India, and IRDA is an insurance regulator in India. But the moment I tell you what is an IFFCA, I think all of you will start looking to each other and say, "Ye kya hai? IFFCA kya hai?" The IFFC is International Financial Services Center Authority, which is India's first unified regulator for International Financial Services Center, combining powers of RBI, SEBI, IRDA, and PFRDA all into one. So we are all into one. If you have gone to Singapore, you would have seen Monetary Authority of Singapore, MAS. They are a unified regulator governing all financial services. Similarly, now in India, you have two regulators, one for domestic zone. For international zone, you have a one unified regulator, as I said, International Financial Services Center Authority. Then what does the second nomenclature, IFFC, stand for? IFFC is simply the International Financial Services Center. And the authority is one which is regulating that center. And there is a third, which I told you, the GIFT, Gujarat International Finance Tech City, which is the overall city in which the IFFC and the IFFCA is housed. So GIFT is like a city where both domestic and financial services centers are developed. In terms of the progress, this started in 2013, the GIFT city. In 2015, the first international financial services regulations were issued at that time by the domestic regulators. So RBI, SEBI and IRDA gave us a carve-outs, but the center was regulated by the domestic regulators. In 2019, as you see, the government passed through an act of parliament, a separate regulatory authority for the IFFC zone. And since October 2020, we assumed the powers of the International Financial Services Center zone. And post that, we have issued more than 20 plus regulations and framework. Now, when we have issued this regulation and framework, what does it mean? Which means that if you want to do business, I have allowed you to benchmark our regulation with the international best practices. Now, what the regulation is that in Singapore, in Dubai International Finance Center, in Mauritius, in Malaysia, I have created similar regulatory framework to do international financial services business in the IFFC zone. So it's become easier for you to do international business, and my regulations are outside domestic. So when you come to GIFT, there is no SEBI which applies. When you come to GIFT, no RBI applies. When you come to GIFT, no insurance regulator applies. But you are governed by my regulations, which are banking regulations, securities regulations, and the insurance regulations issued by the IFFC authority. I've already covered this, that we are now a unified regulator combining powers of all the different regulators. I've already covered this in my discussion. But now, most importantly, I think for all of you, ये सब करने से business क्या हो रहा है? What is that one can do? So this particular slide gives you an idea as to what all can be done in the IFFC zone. As the name suggests, international financial services, which means financial services is the core function when you come to the IFFC zone. If you ask me that, look, I am in a textile business and I want to set up a textile manufacturing plant, can we come to GIFT City? Answer is no. If you ask me that I am a financial services consultant and I want to come to GIFT City, can I come for advising international clients? Answer is yes. Ask me that, look, I am a fintech company and I want to sell the fintech products or fintech financial services solutions to global market, you can come to GIFT City. Likewise, whatever you see on your screen, whether it is a banks, insurance, capital market, asset management, or financial institutions like you have NBFs in India, we have finance company here, and global corporate treasury, international trade finance platform, and even aircraft activities for which you can set up a separate business vertical, either in a form of a separate company, like your wholly owned subsidiary or a joint venture, or you can even create branch in some cases. So you are in India, you can create a branch here and start doing those international financial services business out of the activities that you see on the screen. What we have done in order to regulate and enable these businesses, we have created all the regulations. So as I told you, we have for each business a separate regulation and a separate business vertical, which are all operating here. Now you will say, what is the business that you've done? You know, ये आपका number of entities आपने दिखाया, number of regulations दिखाया, but business क्या हो रहा है? This slide gives you an idea of the business which is happening from IFFC zone. Now, I can argue that if in April 2015, government would have not set up an international financial services sector, then what would have happened? This business slide which you see, this all would have gone to Dubai, Singapore, Mauritius, business would have happened. But the gainers would be centers outside India. By creating an international financial services center, what government has done is, we have now 480 plus entities in the IFFC zone. We have now $37 billion of banking asset size, which means ये जो ECB और external commercial borrowing और trade finance जो इंडिया के लिए बाहर से आ रहा था, वो अभी $37 billion यहाँ से इंडिया में जा रहा है. There are 25 banks, foreign banks, domestic banks, various operating here. There are stock exchanges operating here. Recently, आप लोगों ने, I'm sure you are from the this capital market side also, आप लोग stock market काफी देखते होंगे. तो आप जो SGX निफ्टी देखते थे सुबह ब्रेकफास्ट पे, अभी आपने देखा वो nomenclature have changed to gift nifty. Suddenly you would have misunderstood कि ये क्या चैनल का कुछ गलती हो गया, SGX निफ्टी की जगह पे गिफ्ट क्यों लिख रहा है. But that gift nifty is nothing but your own gift nifty in the gift city, which is the SGX nifty now brought back to India. So what I was telling you, ये हमारा ही बिजनेस था, हमारा ही निफ्टी था, जो सुबह हमको उठ के सिंगापुर देखना पड़ता था, अभी हम हमारा ही सेंटर देख के बोल रहे हैं कि आज इंडिया का मार्केट ऊपर जाएगा नीचे जाएगा. So this is, I think, an advantage of having our own financial center, that the gift nifty has come back, and that is creating a volume, daily volume of 1.3 billion in the first and almost an equivalent volume in the second session now, which is a huge liquidity pool. Like India में NSE में Nifty में around $1 or $2 billion का business हो रहा था. इसका open interest $7 billion जब transfer हुआ one day on 3rd July, $9.1 billion of open interest transferred to Gift City on day one. Now you can imagine ये पूरा business now when it is coming, I'm sure all of you would be thinking कि हमको अभी business में यहाँ पे opportunity कैसे लाना है. If you are from a stock market, if you are from a stock market, then probably you can create a broking firm in an IFFC. Separate, it will be separate from your India, separate wholly owned subsidiary. इसमें आपका SEBI का NOC लगेगा. You will set up a broking firm here, and you will be able to trade Nifty in dollar here on both for proprietary trading, meaning that for your own account, and for your clients also. Clients, what are the clients? Outside India, not the Indian clients, because आज RBI ने इंडिया से इंडियंस को LRS में पैसा जो बाहर जाता है उसमें डेरिवेटिव्स अलाउड नहीं किया है. मार्जिन मनी के लिए पैसा कैन नॉट गो. So you can do on your own account, but you can't do it for the Indian clients derivative products. Whenever the listing of equities happens, you will be able to do equity products for the Indian clients. So ये आपको एक दिखा रहा है पूरा business जो अभी IFFC zone से हो रहा है. And there are various funds also. I'm just take you one by one. I'm sure out of all the slides which I'm presenting, this slide would be the most important eye-catching for all of you. I don't know why, but this normally becomes the most eye-catchy slide, because the moment they see the tax exemption, I think everybody wants to figure out a tax exemption कैसे लेना है. So out of 15-year, 10-year tax holiday business profit में exemption है. There is no GST. There is no withholding tax has been brought down. Very competitive tax regime has been brought, and incentives offered by the Gujarat government under the IT policy, which is also applicable for financial services. So for example, I think all of you will be happy to hear, say for example, you create a 100 people company here, and that 100 employees are all women. Gujarat government reimburses 100% for 5 years of the provident fund that you pay to the employees. So all the women employees to which you pay 12% today, that is reimbursed by the state government for 5 years. And there are a lot of subsidies given for buying computers, for capital assets, and also a lot of incentives given for people to create an financial services ecosystem in the IFFC zone. Now, in banks, I mentioned $37 billion business हुआ है. तो ये सारे banks जो आप लोगो देख रहे हैं, ये सारे आज present है Gift City में, in the international zone में. तो ये आपके foreign banks, Indian banks, they all have come in the IFFC zone. Last हमने जो license दिया है, Development Bank of Singapore (DBS) को license दिया है. Now they are also part of the ecosystem. Almost 24 banks are now present in the IFFC ecosystem. In the capital market, I'm sure some of the logo, I think under the LRS, you might be purchasing shares of Apple, Google, Netflix. अभी ये सारे shares आप unsponsored depository receipts में you can purchase from Gift City. So आप अभी क्या कर रहे हैं? You are sending money under the LRS to buy foreign stock, and that stock is held by a broker outside India. So tomorrow, for example, something happens to the broker. You can't fight into a foreign location to get your shares back. So that is a risk which you are taking today. If you buy unsponsored depository receipts, which is on an exchange, then the payment and the settlement is guaranteed by the stock exchange here, which means you have a better secured product available now for under the LRS to subscribe to. And then you also have the NSE SGX Nifty, which is now a Gift Nifty, and connect with the global markets. and even Indian companies. Maybe this is in the pipeline, but you will see unlisted Indian companies. Government is planning to allow them to list in the GIFT City. So you will be able to list in the GIFT International Zone the unlisted companies where the subscribers can be non-resident, who can have a better value for the company shares which are listed. On the funds, alternate investment funds, we've been doing a sizable business now. Almost 70 plus funds have registered. And ये funds क्या करते थे? ये पहले मॉरिशस में और सिंगापुर में रजिस्टर करेंगे, वहां से फिर इंडिया में इन्वेस्ट करेंगे. Now they are all setting up in GIFT because of two reasons. One, regulation is at par with Singapore or any other location. Two, there is a tax competitive advantage similar offer to what was offered to them in outside India. In fact, at times they are better. And the cost wise, this is a far better location, like 1/10 of the cost versus Singapore. Singapore rentals are close to 450 rupees or 500 rupees per square feet per month. Here the rentals are 75 rupees per square feet per month. So you can imagine the cost competitive location for the business is also available in order to reduce the cost. And in the pandemic, it became very difficult to operate global subsidiaries and global structures. And now with a 50-minute flight from Mumbai to GIFT City, you can actually be able to do your international business now. We have several alternate investment funds registered with us, portfolio management companies registered with us, and sizable number of funds now. Latest who have come is the Morgan Stanley. They have registered their fund with us, and starting from November 2023, almost a $1 billion fund, which will create a lot of opportunities to invest into India. Aircraft leasing is a very unique opportunity which is coming. I know that these are lot of information for all of you, but I was told that you try to cover the maximum opportunities because you have a diversified background of the participants, and everybody would have a different way of looking the opportunity. So we are trying to take this opportunity that how would the third chapter of Millennium Mams can be housed probably in GIFT City in going future, where the future leaders of the international financial Millennium Mams emerges from GIFT City.
Wow, thank you, sir. That's a wonderful thought. And sir, I must remind you, we do have a lot of questions for you as well, sir. So please keep some time for that as well.
Okay, so I think we can directly jump into question also. I have no problem because the slides are always available. I will be sending to all of you, and we can, in fact, let's do the Q&A, and then if required, the slides are anyway been sent to all of you.
Mr. Shah,
yeah,
there is a request that again next year we want a bigger number of students visiting the GIFT City, and you have to organize that.
As I said, your third chapter should be here, so you don't need to ask us. Anytime and every time you just say that chapter wants to organize this, and the city is available to all of you.
Thanks a lot.
Various programs.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. So Meghna, how you want to do? You want to take up the questions first?
Sure, sir. If you want to, sir, complete.
Meghna, we can now start the question answer.
Sure, sure. Yes, sir, absolutely. Sir, if you could stop your screen share, then
I'll just do that.
Sure. Thank you, sir, for your insightful presentation and for sharing your vision for GIFT City. Sir, we have a whole lot of questions for you. I'm going to start with the first one. Sir, what are the main factors that attract global investors to choose GIFT City, and what are the challenges for GIFT City to becoming a leading global financial hub?
I think the opportunities I said is that today now you have a location from where you can do international financial services much more efficiently. Earlier there was no efficiency or there were no regulations to do international business, so that's an opportunity. It's a gateway, as I said, both inbound and outbound. Outbound can come and set up here, inbound can come and set up here and undertake international financial services. Now, as you ask me challenges, I think challenges in India has always been the proof of concept. You know, when you are doing a new project, you will find 100 people telling you how it cannot be done, versus one person saying that it can be done. So our challenge is the similar. Our challenge is we have probably now the ratio has improved. Earlier it was 100 versus 1. Now probably 40 versus 60. 60 is still saying ye nahi hoga, Dubai better hai, Singapore better hai. 40 are saying nahi, ye kyun nahi ho sakta? We can set up this business here and we can experience. So now I think the more time passes and more entities set up and they gain experience and they have 4 or 5 years of their business done here, that message is going in the market that look, why I need Singapore or why I need Dubai to do India-centric international financial services business. So I can tell you that if you ask in a fund industry, for example, that if you have to set up a new fund where the global investors will come and invest and you will invest into Indian market, nobody will say that I will, between GIFT and Mauritius, nobody will say I'll go to Mauritius. Everybody will say I'll go to GIFT. At least that we can confidently say. Banks is also saying that way. See, I have to give an Indian corporate a loan. Why should my Singapore branch give? Why can't the GIFT City branch give? Because I'm better placed, I'm closer to the market. Similarly, stock market players are saying, why I have to go to Singapore to trade Singapore Nifty? Why can't GIFT Nifty be traded from GIFT? So all these structures are now becoming popular. And as the time passes, I think we are seeing the challenges are becoming more opportunities now.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir. Can we have Nidhi for the next question, please?
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, you mentioned about the AIFs, the most recent being Morgan Stanley, and around 16 billion, I think, dollars was the figure you had mentioned, sir. So can you explain a bit, are we looking at something which is not available in the Indian market in terms of these AIFs, and how can retail investors like us benefit from this? So, and one more thing, you also mentioned about LRS, and since that's been in the news everywhere. So, like again, a retail investor, if we are to invest in IFSCA or GIFT City, in terms of, are we liable to pay LRS as well? Does it count as LRS?
So 2 points as you raised. One, for the AIF, what is the structure in which one can utilize the platform? So see, in India, you have a SEBI alternate investment fund, AIF regime, which is meant for the Indian managers to create a structure where the Indian money can be pulled and it can be invested into Indian securities.
Right.
There are times where the foreign funds have also come in those funds into India fund and invest into India. Now, if you really ask me, what does an IFFC does? IFFC does is, I can create a fund here where the Indian investors come to me and they again invest back into India. Because you are converting rupees into dollar and dollar is again going back. So I am not doing that. What I am doing is, and many times there is a confusion that पूरा Bombay gift में शिफ्ट हो जाएगा. ऐसा कुछ होने वाला नहीं है और ऐसा intention भी नहीं है. Bombay is a financial center which is undertaking a lot of domestic financial services. This one is more international financial services. So for example, मैं जब सिंगापुर में फंड बना रहा हूँ and from Singapore I am investing into Indian entities. Now that structure versus GIFT, I am giving them an option. Don't go to Singapore, you can be in GIFT. Foreign investors can come in that fund, invest into India. No PAN card required for foreign investors, no return filing, similar to what you were doing in Singapore. So that funds have started coming here, that's $16 billion. Point number 2, the LRS. Now, from an RBI perspective, IFFC is outside India, which means I am a non-resident like Singapore. So if your LRS money was going to Singapore and there was an LRS, probably your question is the TCS of 20%, whatever.
Also the limits that RBI has said. So.
Yes. So both, the limit-wise also, because I am also an offshore center and Singapore also or Dubai is also, same limit applies to me also. And the tax also will apply in the same way because this is an offshore center from an RBI perspective.
Got it, sir. Thank you so much.
Can we have Rashmi for the next question, please?
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, when we were talking of Singapore and Dubai, so my question is that I can visualize Singapore and Dubai kind of facilities in GIFT City when we talk in terms of first-class education, in terms of entertainment and medical. But right now, that is not visible. So if I want to shift to GIFT City, or if anybody wants to shift to GIFT City and not to Dubai or Singapore, sir, what facilities, or could you kindly elaborate on this topic extensively, sir, please?
A very important question. I think the most important part is while you are driving in by road also, you can come to an offshore center in GIFT City. That is a unique positioning we have now. So you can't drive to Dubai or Singapore and come to an offshore center. But I think on a more serious note, the GIFT City is India's first smart city. So if you come and experience here what all has been done under the master plan, the city is actually housed between two cities. Ahmedabad with 8.8 million people, and Gandhinagar, which is 0.5 million people. So around 9 million people is in the surrounding. Now we are talking of Singapore, which is 6.5 million. And you are talking of Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar with 9 million. So already in India, you don't have a problem of, the isolation. You have problem of so much in a close proximity.
Excess.
Thing is happening. Now, where I am situated, from my place to airport is 15 minutes. So you go to airport, 15 minutes, you come to GIFT City. From here, Ahmedabad is 30 minutes. From here, Gandhinagar is next door. So the city vibrancy of 9 million, all that, whether it was this newly created Leela Hospital, no, Leelavati, but the hotel which has come on the... Yeah, so a lot of infrastructure, in terms of Gandhinagar railway station. Leela, Hotel Leela, for example, they all are in the close proximity of this zone. Now, for us in the city, we already have a 5-star club, which is 100 rooms plus facility, 5-star hotel inside, operational. Jamnabai Nursery School from Bombay. Only location from where they have gone outside Mumbai is GIFT City now. From senior KG to class 12, they are running. Leelavati Hospital is under construction right now here, 300 beds here. You have huge housing facilities within the GIFT City also coming up, 5,000 plus. So the ecosystem is available in this all three cities, and within GIFT City also it is coming up as more and more residents are coming in. So probably you will find that connectivity, social life, all parallel available with all these developments happening.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Then
much.
all the more now, sir, we want to come and see. we all are getting more excited about coming now, sir, after hearing it from you. Can I have Shweta for the next question, please? Shweta Singhal.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, you've described the infrastructure for the people coming to GIFT City. Sir, my question is little related to that. Sir, under SEZ Act, there are many benefits given to entities, but there is no scheme for individual and is a deterrent for those employed here and earning in dollars. Sir, your views on this?
So, the financial engineering of Indians. If you give the personal income tax exemption, so मुझे लगता है कि ये 144 participants would be right now, having all offices in GIFT. Because individual income tax is always going. Individual income tax exemption is always challenging. But what the government has done is given the exemption to the entities. So out of 15 years, 10 years, there is no tax on the business profits. And the individuals, I think the way that we operate, India as such we operate, we are not like Dubai or Abu Dhabi, where there are two. One, they have no incentive to earn, those taxes from the individuals because they want more and more people to come and do business there. Whereas in India is a pretty large country similar to other financial sectors. So if you really see, comparable is Hong Kong, for example, because China set up in Hong Kong. Now, whether did Hong Kong personal income tax was exempted? Answer is no. The financial services professionals working there do pay income tax. Obviously, there could be always a question between the percentage, whether it is 40%, 25%, 30%. That could always be debated, but the taxes in general for individuals always remains. And I think in India, we can't, think of becoming like a Dubai or Middle East from that perspective. But I think what people are seeing value is my cost competitive advantage itself is such that instead of posting people in Singapore and hiring Singapore lawyers, if I'm able to depute people and employ people here, my cost of employing itself is going substantially down. My cost of legal services is going substantially down, and my cost of rentals are going down. So all this put together is a good incentive.
Thank you, sir.
Can we ask Swati for the next question, please?
Good afternoon, sir. So when SVB Bank failed in US, many accounts got stuck. They rushed to open accounts in GIFT City. Sir, how you took advantage of this situation, and in future, how it cannot be practiced?
Sorry, in future, how it cannot be?
Sir, in future, how can it be practiced regularly, sir?
Okay. I think what happened was we have also have a committee on the reverse flipping. Like a lot of Indian startups are given that $500,000 US to register, and they give you initially 5 lakh, and then they register you in the Y Combinator, which is in US, where a lot of our startups were registered. And what they do is, by telling you to come there, they are actually taking away your intellectual property rights there. Means the company is getting registered there, which means the IPR is going shifted outside India. They're telling you to do business, set up a holding company there, but actually your business model is India. So from there, they will then tell you to create a company in India. And this all structures, if you see, they are all becoming inefficient. Now, the way the SVB bank fiasco happened, a lot of Indian startups had a bank accounts with that bank, because the startups were given that, $500,000 and all were told to open an account there. When this issue came up, IFSCA is like an offshore zone. So our banks could start providing the opportunity to them to open a bank account here. But when we started doing this, as I speak, we also ran into a hurdle that in India, when you open an account, there is a PAN requirement that a bank account cannot be opened without PAN. Now, all these people have no intention to do India business. So they are asking us, if because I'm opening an account in GIFT, which is an offshore, why should I obtain a PAN? Now, RBI, I'm outside India, but income tax, I'm India. I'm not outside India. So I have to go every time to the income tax authority and say, सर ये अगर सिंगापुर में अकाउंट ओपन करता तो आप कहाँ पैन लेते हैं इसके पास, तो ये मेरे पास आ रहा है तो मुझे आप सिंगापुर मानिए और मुझे भी ये पैन एग्जेम्पशन दीजिए. So I have to, as a financial center, while financial regulators are on one side, there are so many other regulatory authorities which we have to keep, indulging with and explain that, and then they understand and they give us a carve out. So in future, suppose this PAN requirement is not there, the banks in IFSCA would be able to source that deposits or accounts, which will provide them a liquidity and will be able to utilize for their business also.
Thanks a lot.
Sorry, sir. I think Meghna has lost a connection, sir. Can I call on Pooja? Pooja Agarwal?
Actually, it was okay. Yeah.
Good
Pooja
afternoon,
can
sir.
continue.
Pooja Agarwal.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, sir. So we spoke about infrastructure connectivity and social life at GIFT City. Sir, India also has the advantage of having a vast young talent pool in the field of finance and information technology. So with global education institutions operating from Indian soils, can students have easy access to world-class education in India? In GIFT City, are we looking to tie up with some Ivy League colleges so that we can retain our talent?
A very, very important point raised, and I'm glad that you asked, because this was part of my slide also. I could not cover that slide, but good that you brought this out. So what we've done is, in order to, all of us know, and I think many of the people on this call I see, if we do a survey out of 139 people, at least 60 would say that son or daughter are studying outside India, or after studying, they are actually settled outside India.
Correct,
Now,
sir.
now what has happened is it's an India talent. It is we who have actually nurtured that talent, and we have given that talent to some other financial center or to some other country. Obviously, a personal growth is happening, no doubt about that for the individuals. But as a country, we are losing that important talent, which could have actually stayed back in India and created much more opportunities and business for Indians to grow. Now, in order to address this, the Honorable Finance Minister in the Union Budget announced that we will set up an international branch campus for the foreign university in an IFFC zone. Now, we have already regulations have issued where the international branch campus of foreign university can come up here. And this is not under the National Education Policy, NEP. That is separate. What the government of India in domestic India is trying to do for the foreign universities to come. For gift on the international zone, already we have 2 universities from Australia. One, Deakin, which is Melbourne based, and other University of Wollongong. They both have set up an international branch campus here. They are going to impart Master of Business Analytics and Master of Cybersecurity, Data Analytics from the zone. They will impart the same degree what they are giving in Australia. No change, exactly the same degree. The fees in Deakin in Melbourne is 37,000 Australian dollar. That fees is 17,000 Australian dollar here for our student who is going to come and study here. And after that, he has an opportunity to work within GIFT also, because so many financial players are coming, and he will be able to get a placement here. Or he can go outside also and settle in Australia, settle anywhere else that he wants to. But you are absolutely spot on that creating a financial center is not possible without creating a large talent pool. And today, London and US are financial centers or global financial hub because of the universities that they have there, not because of it being in that New York as a city. So I think we are working on that. We have 2 universities, many more are interested to come, and a small international university hub is emerging here. Probably tomorrow, some of your kids, when they come to that stage, probably they would take admission here. That would be a pride moment for all of us that, look, our own talent has remained in India.
Great, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Can we have Payal, please? Sorry,
Yeah.
sir, I got disconnected. We don't have optic fibers like your Gift City here.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Payal, go ahead.
Yeah, hello, sir. My question to you is, from a retail investor's perspective, is there any possibility to invest in Gift City through real estate investment trust, or maybe some avenues for retail investors to benefit from the Gift City?
Yeah, so retail investor has, I think, multiple opportunities. One, obviously, the Gift City, and I understand, Payal, you are from Rajkot.
Yes, sir.
When we started the Gift City, I think the first line item which we used to say, and this was in way back in 2007-8, I'm saying, we said that the gift will be successful in Gujarat because of the simple reason that there is at least 30% of the capital market contribution is happening from the state of Gujarat.
True.
And they ask us how. We said that, look, if any public issue, initial public offering comes in India, if people from Rajkot does not participate, the issue is never oversubscribed. It is always undersubscribed.
True, sir.
That is a strength of just one city in Gujarat. And
True.
so we were selling on the name of Rajkot, the Gift City earlier.
Thank you so much. It's an honor.
Yeah, on the different note, but to answer to your question, for the retail investors, the opportunities in the domestic zone of Gift City, there are a lot of residentials and real estate coming up. So one is that one can buy residential properties. I think they can hold, they can invest, they can sell. They're all possible in the domestic zone of Gift City. In the international zone of Gift City, the retail investors can probably utilize this avenue of LRS to invest outside. They can, tomorrow when the Indian companies are, unlisted companies are coming here, they can probably be able to buy securities from here. And under the, for the retail, that they decide that, look, I want to form a fintech company. Then currently, as per the RBI norm, a retail individual can only set up a company in GIFT for financial services, which is outside India. Even you can't set up a financial services company in Singapore or Dubai. that leeway is provided now by the RBI for the GIFT City. So even, if you decide tomorrow to set up a fintech firm, you can set up here, and that could be an opportunity to deal with.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
We'll take one last question, sir. Sushila ji, please come in with your question.
Yeah, sir, good evening. What unique advantage does GIFT City offer to international financial service companies compared to other global financial hubs?
I think most important is that we are at par. I think that is what is the most important. We are at par, meaning that what was happening in Singapore, Dubai, and others have now started happening in GIFT. So one, as I said, the advantage is that you are in India, you can do global business. Two, there is a tax competitive regime available. Three, the cost of operations is lower. So all this put together is becoming, versus outside, GIFT is becoming much more sustainable and competitive location for undertaking business.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we would have loved for this interaction to continue, but we value your time commitment. So, sir, firstly, we're very thankful that Bhakti Pujara, our committee member from Bombay chapter, connected us to you. And now, sir, I would like to invite our Kolkata committee member, Anisha Katotia, for the VOT.
Thank you, Meghna. I extend my vote of thanks to our chief guest, Mr. Dipesh Shah, for taking out time from his busy schedule to grace our forum. Thank you for giving us deep insight into GIFT City and IFSC. Now that SGX Nifty is converted into GIFT Nifty, we can say from Singapore to Gandhinagar, the world is coming to India. I also want to thank our mentors, Mr. Vishnu Dhanuka and Mr. Sanjay Bhuvania, for giving us this excellent opportunity. Last but not the least, to all our lovely mams for making this session so interactive. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. And I also take this opportunity to invite all of you to come to GIFT City, which is your own offshore center where you don't need visa to travel to an offshore location, and see for yourself as to how the city is coming up. So look forward to seeing all of you in GIFT.